Hello there, this is TrainLover2009, and today we'll be talking about Puppeteer, the video game released on PS3 in 2013. So, I really enjoyed this game. I've played it before. I just got finished my second playthrough, and I would use that as a basis for a review. Puppeteer was a really good game, in my opinion. I really think it had enjoyable levels and enjoyable characters, but I'll go in depth with that in a little while. So, the game is comprised of many different things. I'll have timestamps for each section in the description. But, so you have 7 acts. And if you have never read a play before, which hopefully you have, acts are parts of the play, big sections or chunks of that play that, have its own little plot area. So there's different acts in this. You got 7 of them with 3 levels each, and I'll talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about Act 1, Stolen Away. So Act 1, Stolen Away sets up the story and the plot of the characters. It sets up that our main character is a guy named Puppeteer. It's about a 7-year-old boy. He has his soul taken away. You also get different characters, like Esma Potts, the Moon Witch, who used to be the Moon Goddess, which is revealed to us later in the game. You also have the Moon Goddess's pet, Yin Yang, who's a cat, with a weird accent. It sets up the main villain, being the Moon Bear King, who wants to take over the entirety of the moon, and the Earth too. He was the Moon Goddess's old plush, and her favorite one. But he was always sad and lonely because he never had the power that the Moon Goddess had. He grew big and became the Moon Tyrant, taking over the moon and trying to take over the Earth. There are 3 levels in this act, just like every other act in the game. The first level introduces us to main controls. It teaches us how to jump, how to explore with a character, and how to do much more. The second level is a test of our newfound ability, the scissors, or calibris, as it's called in the game. Here you can cut many stuff, anything, pretty much. You can cut up enemies, you can cut up background objects, and you can cut up bosses too. You also get introduced to the Night Shield in this level, which you can use to deflect attacks back to the attacker. The third act features the first general boss of the game, General Tiger. You go up the tower trying to exploit General Tiger as he keeps trying to attack you, and then you have one final confrontation with him. There are 3 bosses in this level, as each level has a boss. There are usually 3 bosses in every single level, with the exception of 5, but we'll talk about that. The first boss, which is the Castle Weaver, or the Gate Weaver, is not that difficult. For a first timer, yeah, you might have a little bit of trouble with this, but you can get past it. The second one steps up a little more in difficulty, as you need to use your new ability on the Horse Weaver. No, I mean, not the Horse Weaver, the Night Weaver. And you use this to attack, deflect the objects back that he's attacking. Here, it's pretty satisfying whenever you beat the boss. The third act features your confrontation with General Tiger. General Tiger, you have to deflect the attacks that he has in his paws back to him, and then climb up his arms and cut out his teeth. Take out his golden moonstone tooth, which he uses to keep himself from being a scaredy cat, and the boss is over. Every single general boss, with the exception of General Monkey, is a really satisfying quick time event, and General Tiger's no exception. Act 1's principle. There's not as much to talk about with Act 2. This is probably my least favorite act of the entire game. Not because this act is bad. No, it's not bad by any means, but otherwise, it's just a very bland one. Act 1's pretty decent, with you getting the Ninja Bomb ability, and you also getting the ability to, well, there's nothing more. But it's really nice, and you got a good boss against the Taiko Drum enemy style, with the Gate Weaver. Oh, that was the Gate Weaver, well. matter. Anyway, however, though, everything else about this act is kind of bland. Act 2 is okay, and the boss against General Rat's fine, except for the fact there's no quick time event. You know, either put quick time events in all your bosses, like all your generals, because they're cool. It's cool to see the quick time event play out and then a big blow up. But that's beside the point. Also, and this really isn't very happy either. Act 3, current 3, Jesus, how many games at this point, is too easy. It's not even that long. It's shorter than every other act in this, in the whole current act. It makes sense because curtain 1 and curtain 2 are pretty long, especially curtain 1. This is a pretty short level, especially for the end of your curtain, your end of your world. It's supposed to be the penultimate. It's supposed to be the ultimate challenge of your area. But, it's not. And General Snake is boring. It's just a long quick time event, and it sucks. Act 3 is a huge improvement over Act 2, that's for sure. Act 3 has 3 amazing bosses. Well, except for the first one, but that's decent. Act 3 has better level design, and it isn't as boring, and each level feels like it's complete. Level 1 is my least favorite level in this act, but even still, that's a good level. My favorite level, though, is level 3. That boss at the end is just a fantastic boss. The tractor beam boss with the ship, with the rubber ship that's used, it's pretty nice. And the crab. And even still, Act 3's Kraken boss, level 2's Kraken boss is still a good boss. Mostly for time events, but there's a lot of stuff in between it's really complete. Overall, Act 3 is a huge improvement over Act 2, in almost every single way. You get a new ability, the grappling hook, and your scissors also upgrade to a better level. Captain Gap is a blast. And his love to Esma Potts is even funnier. Captain Gap apparently is an actor and lives and breathes by his role. It seems like the guy that would. Overall, an amazing act. First of all, before we start Act 4, I made a decision to split the video in half. So, Act 4 will be the final act in this part of the video, but the next video, the next part, I will have the rest of the game, including the ending. Act 4 is by far the best act in the entire game, in my opinion. For one thing, General Horse and Bull are really funny characters, just exceptionally funny characters. Also, the puns here are funny. The Wild Waste, Oops 60 Sticks, stuff like that. It's a Wild West city with a more developed landscape to it, with cars and stuff like that. But still has its rugged points. Also, the bosses are exceptional here. And the fact that the Wild Waste is the way it is, like how most of it is just a barren desert, but then you walk more into the city and there's a Roman Colosseum there. There are 3 bosses in this act, with the best one probably being General Horse in my opinion. General Horse and Bull are really funny characters, like I said already. And General Horse and Bull's bosses do not disappoint. So unlike what they did with General Pig and Sheep where they combined the boss together, instead they made 2 separate bosses. Even though you do see both of them in each other's bosses. Just kind of cool. What happens is that in General Horse's boss battle, after you have a long and grueling race with General Horse, she blows up and she turns full on mad. Where General Bull's controlling her iron horse, as it's called, her steam locomotive powers, shooting missiles and stuff like that, and shooting fire out of her smoke box and stuff like that. As you can tell, I'm a big train guy, just because of the content I make on this channel, and my name says it too. So this is really nice, and the boss, whenever you take it down, satisfying. The quick time event here amazing. And General Bull's boss doesn't disappoint either, even though it's not on the same level.